So I have in my hand right here an iron that I know for a fact you've never heard of. It's a brand new company from Japan. They claim that this iron right here has all the technology on offer right now to any manufacturer. Has the best materials on offer right now by any manufacturer. And they claim huge things that this iron will perform and deliver accuracy, distance and height easily. You've never heard of it, but let me explain. You're thinking the same thing as me. How on earth haven't I even heard of them? Well, it's because they don't really have any players. But the question is, are we gonna hear more about them in the future? So I mentioned they're expensive, and I mean super expensive, but let's just have a first look at these down behind the ball. Now, I'll be honest, the first thing that sticks out to me is how thick is that top edge? I don't mean super thick, but I wasn't expecting it to look as forgiving as this. I really wasn't. Now, just ignore this connect system. This is a fitting kit, so it's not an actual iron into a shaft, it's a head on a fitting kit system. Well, down behind the golf ball, I have to say, I feel like this is gonna be confidence inspiring. I feel like it's gonna be super hot off this face. The other areas I like is how shiny the outer area is to the dull inner area, and it's a nice head shape. I like the jagged sort of more top line here when it complemented on the bottom. The bottom of the club, again, looks like it's going to be relatively forgiving. It's hefty in a way, but also not too chunky. And then, I'll be honest, again here, the back of this club does look super forgiving. But for a very premium, very expensive iron, I'm not sure on this bit. You know, that bit there where it says this here, where it says Proto concept there. And I'm just not sure on that, if I'm honest with you. I think that detracts away from this nice shiny area here. Yeah, it's minimalistic. That's a bit of a letdown, if I'm honest. But I guess, does that even really matter, that little piece at the bottom? Let me know what you think. Okay, so price point. The price point is, for 5 to pitching wedge, just over £2,000. Yes, £2,000. That's around £335 per club. That's nearly probably $400 per club and touching just under $3,000 for 6 irons. How are they going to justify this price? Well, we will go through the tech shortly, but I want to get some baseline numbers. So I'm going to normalize these, get it 3-way off a T-peg. Let's see what ball speed we get and let's see what carry numbers we get. Also wonder what it feels like and what it sounds like. Let's put it to the test. I have to say, I really do love the look of that down behind the golf ball. That top edge is nice and not chunky, but relatively thick, and you can't see that cavity at the back. Now, they do have other irons within the brand, but we're just trying this one today. Let's hit this one away. Oh, that went a lot higher than I thought. A lot higher, a little leaky out to the right. For the first shot, a 165 carry, a 121.1 ball speed, and a pretty decent smash for the first shot of the day. So that finished just sort of right fringe. It wasn't the best shot, but I didn't even feel that. It sounded duller, and what I mean by that is it wasn't like a high-pitched, clunky sound. It felt very soft, almost like the ball was like melting into the face. Felt good. That felt very, very good. But was it £2,000 good? Yet to decide. Now, we are going to test these from multiple scenarios, like I said, so from the fairway and from the rough, but these are our baseline numbers. Okay, here we go. Next shot. Oh, that was better. That was absolutely ripped. Absolutely ripped. Oh, yes, please. So that feels absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I got my club head speed up on that one, we're over 90 miles an hour. The ball speed was 125, and we carried that, well, I'm gonna say pretty much all the way, which is around that 170 yard mark. For a 7-iron, that is very good. Yeah, it does feel very, very soft off that face, but yet like fast. It feels fast. It sounds premium, I can't argue, I can't. I'm just disappointed in the back of that though, disappointed at that. So let's hit one more for good measure off this tee. That head shape is absolutely stunning. Oh yes, please. I think you can throw a blanket over those last two. Oh, you literally can. You literally can. That ball speed's gone up again. Okay, I was happy with the second shot, but look at this. Club head speed 91.7, ball speed 128.6, smash factor 1.4, carry 179. 179. That's pretty good, isn't it? Let's talk a little bit of tech, and I'll just go and show you where those have finished. So let's talk materials. The body is carbon steel S2OC. The finish is a nickel chrome plating satin finish, and it's a nickel chromium molybdenum steel. Yeah, I'm absolutely butchering that, so we'll put that on the screen right there. Again, this is something I find really quite interesting when brands are trying to innovate, trying to change different things, and I guess that comes from the Proto part of the name. And the brand's philosophy is quite interesting. But before that, now according to Proto concept, this face has 3-level thickness deviation. Now, the recreation of excess weight and a deeper, lower center of gravity results in a ball rising easier and a straighter ball flight. I'm also a little skeptical when I hear all of these claims. Is there really more out there? Is there really all that technology that you can shove in one club? Well, let's see. The 3-level thickness deviation with 3 different phases of thickness in order to eliminate the unsatisfying feel and sound of face welded irons. The lower area of the face is made with a thicker 2.7mm and the top blade thinner, so that even players with slower clubhead speeds can feel a good ball retention. Now, I'll be honest, that's not something that I have ever heard of before. 3 levels of thickness. So I guess this is probably how they're justifying the price right now. I have to say, that was very, very impressive distance. I didn't feel any of those shots on the face. Granted, they all were like above an 8 out of 10 stripe. So the proof's in the pudding really when you start to hit these a little bit off center. So we're next, after I've shown you where these are finished, we're next gonna head to the 17th. We're gonna hit some irons from the fairway, and we'll talk a little more tech, because I think when we're looking at a set of irons like this, we need to know what the price point comes from. So we've learned about the Proto, so not for mass production, okay, that gives it an elevated price. And the 3 stages of face thickness. Again, not something I've heard of. I've heard of variable face thickness, not 3 stages. Maybe it's the same thing, maybe it's not. Look, there's the last 2 shots, and a little further up you can see the first shot I hit. There is the flag. Very good. So I've now chosen a really, really tough shot. And into the wind shot that I reckon is measuring, if I stand here, well in fact let's go one better, that is measuring 176. So right on where we just hit those. Let's see how stable the ball flight is into wind, what it feels like, what it sounds like, and a little more tech. Here we go. Here we go. It's a lot higher than I thought. Why isn't that going through the wind? That's a bloody good shot, that. That is really good. Yeah, I can see how they go higher than you would think. Again, that was really like super solid, quite high launching, but I don't feel like it was like really like spinning too much, especially like into that wind scenario. It didn't feel like it was like climbing on me. I'm gonna try and play this next one a little differently. Try and play this one a little lower. You know, that sort of bit more punchier ball flight. Let's see if it's got it in the locker. Punchier 1. Oh yeah. And my final shot away. Have a look at this ball flight. It's definitely a lot higher than I'm used to. Definitely higher. But that's the idea of the C07. Is to help get the golf ball up in the air. It's got a bit more of a cavity on the back. Now, we again talk about this price point, and I think it's a big thing because when you see £2,000, upwards of £300 per iron, you want to know what you're going to get. And I want to talk about the forging process. This is what they say. Again, I find it really, really quite interesting. Remember, this company was founded in 2019, so really quite young. First, look at those shots right there. That one was the final shot that I hit. This was the first shot hit. Again, remember, it was upwards of 170 yards to the flag. We're probably 10-15 short into wind, and then that was that punchy one that I hit. So really, for my eyes, pretty damn consistent. So I mentioned the forging process. Let's talk about it. The Proto concept has been moving forward its project with a manufacturing company possessing the world's finest forging technology. It would have been unusual for the company to work with a small-scale manufacturer like us, but Proto Concept's idea of incorporating all the functions, materials, and techniques conceivable at the moment in small, it fortunately resonated with them. So essentially, Proto Concept is saying every single piece of technology, the best materials, the best of everything is in this iron. I have to say I am impressed, but I can't stop looking at that little thing there. It's now time we tested these irons from the rough, and let's just see what numbers we get. So I'm gonna put the launch monitor back on, we'll normalize these numbers, and let's see what ball speed, let's see what distance in terms of carry we get from this scenario. That's what this iron looks like down behind the golf ball in the rough, and I've just thought of this. Think about that head shape right now. That's the 7-iron head shape, but you have to think, if 7-iron is that forgiving in terms of looks on the back here, in terms of the face thickness, in terms of that top line, it's probably going to be a little thicker as you go into the longer irons like 6-iron and 5-iron, which has to be an absolute bonus, right? Has to be an absolute bonus. So I've got the launch monitor out again. Let's place that down there. Let's hit this first one away from the rough. How accurate can we be too? Not aiming there, Alex. That was beautifully hit. Still high, but I think a lot of people are going to go, I like that height. Oh, what a shot, back left. So let's hit another one away out of the rough. Again, that ball flight, actually, I would say feels a little lower on this second one. Maybe that's because it's coming out the rough with a little bit less spin, but I've hit the green. I do feel like the club cuts through the turf nicely. And I want to keep saying this, even on the third shot that I caught a little bit thin, the carry looks like, when we'll see in a second, the carry looks like it was absolutely up there. So the off-centre hit still seemed to go the right distance. Overall, the feeling is soft. The feeling is, well, I don't even feel it off the face. I really don't. I really don't. I am very, very impressed right now. I keep going back to the back of that club though. Why does it look like that? In terms of consistency, on the fringe, on the green, and on the fringe, but look how they're all in one line. That means a lot of control. Now, there's one final thing to talk about. The lofts of these irons, because we often see that. When I start seeing irons go a long way, I'm very, very skeptical. I'm like, have they just cranked them? Now, interestingly, even if they have cranked them, I'm still managing to launch the ball high. So the fact that they are cranked, I guess, doesn't really matter that much, because I'm saying to you right now, these are launching higher than I would expect. I'm so impressed. I hate being too impressed like this. I hate it. So loft-wise, we're looking at this. 4-iron, 22 degrees, 5-iron, 25 degrees, 6-iron, 28, 7-iron 31, 8-iron 35, 9-iron 39, and pitching wedge 44. So not like ridiculously strong, and that explains why the golf ball gets in the air easier. I am really, really impressed with these irons, but the question is, would I spend that amount of money? I don't think I would. As much as I'm looking at these going, yeah, these are good, they're great, they perform, it's a lot of money, that, isn't it? It is really a lot of money. But you know what? It's super fun to try, something super exclusive, super premium, and that sort of Proto look, yeah, I get why it sounds quite cool. Sort of like no one else has them sort of vibe. I like it, I like it.